There comes a point in life when the foods we once thought of as healthy and beneficial may no longer serve our bodies in the same way, especially when it comes to men over 60 who are seeking to maintain vitality, energy, and a strong libido. While a diet rich in vegetables is generally praised for its health benefits, not all vegetables have the same effects on male sexual health, and some can actually have a silent, detrimental impact on testosterone levels and overall libido if consumed in excess or without balance. It's important to understand that as men age, their hormonal balance shifts, metabolism slows down, and their bodies become more sensitive to certain compounds found in foods that might interfere with sexual function. Among these, some vegetables known for their goitrogenic properties, meaning they could disrupt thyroid function if eaten excessively, can indirectly contribute to lower testosterone production, increased fatigue, and decreased sexual desire. Cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, kale, and Brussels sprouts are often singled out in this regard, not because they are inherently bad, but because they contain substances called indoles and thiocyanates that can interfere with iodine uptake in the thyroid gland. And since thyroid health is closely tied to hormone regulation, including testosterone and sex hormone-binding globulin, SHBG, any disruption here can cascade into diminished libido and erectile challenges. Additionally, some men might not realize that consuming these vegetables raw or in very large amounts might pose more risk than moderate, cooked consumption, as cooking can reduce the levels of goitrogenic compounds. Beyond thyroid interference, certain vegetables are also high in fiber and antioxidants that, while generally beneficial, can sometimes lead to an imbalance in gut flora or excessive detoxification demands that sap energy from the body's sex hormone production pathways, leading to fatigue and lowered sexual interest. For men over 60 who are naturally experiencing a decline in testosterone levels, even small dietary influences can have a noticeable impact on sexual health, energy, and confidence. Another group of vegetables that often get overlooked are those with high levels of phytoestrogens, plant compounds that mimic estrogen in the body. While phytoestrogens can offer some protective effects, especially for heart health and bone density, excessive consumption of foods like soy products or flax seeds, which are sometimes included as vegetable-like additions to diets, may lead to an imbalance in the testosterone to estrogen ratio, which is crucial for maintaining libido and sexual performance in men. It's important to note that not every man will be equally sensitive to these effects, and genetics, lifestyle, overall diet, and exercise habits all play a role in how the body responds. However, the key takeaway for men over 60 looking to protect and even enhance their libido is to pay close attention to the quantity and preparation of certain vegetables, avoiding overconsumption of raw cruciferous vegetables, limiting soy-based products, and balancing meals with testosterone-supporting foods rich in zinc, magnesium, and healthy fats. Many men have reported that by moderating their intake of these offending vegetables and focusing on a well-rounded diet rich in lean proteins, colorful fruits, nuts, seeds, and omega-3 fatty acids, they experience a significant improvement in sexual desire, stamina, and erectile function, which in turn boosts their confidence and overall quality of life. It's also important to consider the timing and combination of foods. Pairing these vegetables with iodine-rich foods like seaweed or seafood can help mitigate the goitrogenic effects, while regular exercise, stress management, and quality sleep further support hormonal balance and libido. In addition to dietary adjustments, men over 60 should consider regular checkups that include hormonal panels, thyroid function tests, and nutritional assessments to identify any underlying issues that may be contributing to libido loss, ensuring that their diet is tailored not just for general health, but for sexual vitality as well. This awareness is vital because many men silently suffer from declining libido without understanding that simple changes to their vegetable consumption could make a meaningful difference. It's also worth mentioning that while avoiding or limiting certain vegetables, it's never recommended to eliminate vegetables altogether, as their fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants are essential for cardiovascular health, weight management, and mental clarity, all factors that indirectly support a healthy sex life. Instead, the focus should be on smart choices, portion control, and preparation methods that optimize nutrient absorption without compromising sexual health. In summary, men over 60 should be mindful of overconsuming raw cruciferous vegetables, high phytoestrogen foods like soy, and those that may affect thyroid function, balancing their diet with testosterone-supportive nutrients, maintaining an active lifestyle, and consulting healthcare professionals for personalized advice, because this holistic approach not only preserves libido, but enhances overall well-being, energy, and confidence well into the golden years. There's often a surprising connection between the foods men over 60 eat and the way their bodies produce and regulate hormones critical for sexual health. And when we dig deeper into how certain vegetables impact this delicate balance, the picture becomes clearer and more urgent for those wanting to protect their libido and vitality. One of the main ways these offending vegetables affect men is through their influence on the endocrine system, particularly the thyroid and adrenal glands, which together govern metabolism, energy levels, and the production of sex hormones like testosterone and DHEA. And when the thyroid is underactive due to excessive consumption of goitrogenic compounds found in raw cruciferous vegetables, men may experience symptoms like fatigue, weight gain, depression, and most importantly, a significant drop in libido and erectile function, which can be incredibly frustrating and disheartening, especially when they don't realize their diet could be the root cause. It's also important to highlight that the timing and method of preparing these vegetables make a big difference. Cooking cruciferous vegetables thoroughly helps deactivate many of these goitrogens, making them safer to consume in moderate amounts. But raw or juice forms concentrate these compounds, potentially causing more harm, especially in men with pre-existing thyroid sensitivity or low iodine intake. Beyond the thyroid, some vegetables may interfere with testosterone directly by promoting higher levels of estrogen-like activity or by affecting the balance of enzymes that convert testosterone to other hormones. And one example is soy-derived foods, which, though often classified as a vegetable protein source, are rich in isoflavones, a class of phytoestrogens that mimic estrogen and can bind to estrogen receptors in the body, leading to a subtle but cumulative reduction in circulating testosterone, which over time can manifest as reduced libido, lower energy, and decreased muscle mass. And this is particularly relevant for men over 60 who are already on the natural downward slope of testosterone production due to aging. For these men, it's wise to moderate intake of soy products like tofu, soy milk, edamame, and soy protein isolates commonly found in processed foods and protein supplements, especially if they're consuming these foods daily or in large quantities. It's equally critical to recognize the impact of other vegetable-based foods that may contribute to inflammation or digestive distress, such as nightshade vegetables like tomatoes, eggplants, peppers, and potatoes, which in some sensitive individuals can trigger inflammatory responses that affect blood flow and nerve function, both essential components of healthy sexual function. Because inflammation can restrict circulation and damage delicate nerves responsible for sensation and arousal. So A. Diet high in these vegetables without balance or rotation can unintentionally create roadblocks to sexual vitality. Men over 60 should also be aware that excessive fiber from certain high-fiber vegetables may bind to minerals critical for testosterone synthesis like zinc and magnesium, potentially reducing their absorption if not compensated for in the diet. And since zinc in particular plays a fundamental role in testosterone production and sperm health, ensuring adequate intake through food or supplements is crucial when limiting problematic vegetables. A practical dietary approach for men aiming to preserve libido is to focus on variety and balance. Incorporating non-goitrogenic vegetables, such as leafy greens like spinach, in moderation, asparagus, carrots, and beets, which support circulation and contain antioxidants that protect vascular health, which in turn supports erections and sexual stamina. While pairing meals with sources of healthy fats like olive oil, avocados, and nuts to aid hormone production and nutrient absorption, and protein from fish, lean meats, and legumes to provide the amino acids necessary for hormone synthesis and muscle maintenance, which supports overall vitality. Another key factor is hydration and gut health, because a healthy gut flora promotes better hormone metabolism and reduces systemic inflammation. So fermented vegetables like sauerkraut or kimchi in moderate amounts can be excellent additions, provided they don't come with excess salt or additives that might raise blood pressure or cause other health issues. It's equally essential for men over 60 to manage stress effectively, since chronic stress elevates cortisol levels, a hormone that antagonizes testosterone, and many vegetables, particularly those rich in antioxidants, can support the body's ability to handle oxidative stress, but they cannot counteract poor lifestyle habits alone. Thus, integrating stress management techniques such as meditation, gentle exercise like walking or yoga, and quality sleep alongside mindful dietary choices will maximize benefits for libido and overall health. Many men report that when they consciously reduce or eliminate the most problematic vegetables, raw cruciferous greens, excessive soy and nightshades, and focus instead on nutrient-dense, libido-supportive foods, they experience noticeable improvements in sexual desire, energy levels, and confidence within weeks to months, highlighting the powerful role diet plays not just in physical health, but in emotional and relational well-being. It's important to remember that no single food is the sole cause of libido decline, but rather it is the cumulative effect of diet, lifestyle, hormonal changes, and emotional factors that influence sexual health in older men. So by making thoughtful, informed choices about vegetable intake and overall nutrition, men can actively support their body's natural ability to maintain vigor and intimacy. Finally, consulting with healthcare providers who understand the nuanced relationship between diet and male sexual health can provide personalized guidance, including blood tests to assess hormone levels, thyroid function, and nutrient status, which enables targeted interventions and avoids unnecessary restrictions that might compromise overall nutrition. because the goal is not to fear vegetables, but to respect their power and impact on the aging body. Crafting a diet that nourishes libido, promotes health, and enhances quality of life well into the later decades. Men over 60 often find themselves navigating a complex landscape of health changes, especially when it comes to maintaining sexual vitality, and understanding how diet plays a crucial role in this journey is empowering, because what we eat affects everything from hormone levels to blood flow to mental well-being. And among all dietary factors, the choice of vegetables can be surprisingly influential, as some vegetables that are otherwise considered staples in healthy eating may slowly undermine libido if consumed excessively or without balance. It's essential to remember that the body's hormonal system is delicate and interconnected. So when certain compounds in vegetables disrupt thyroid function or increase estrogenic activity, the ripple effects can impact testosterone production and sexual desire in ways that accumulate over time. And many men don't realize that the cumulative effect of these small dietary influences can lead to frustration, decreased confidence, and even relationship strain. This is why education and awareness about which vegetables to moderate or avoid altogether is so important for older men who want to preserve not only their physical health, but also their emotional and sexual well-being. Furthermore, aging men should focus on supporting their hormonal health by incorporating foods known to enhance testosterone naturally, such as leafy greens rich in magnesium, nuts high in zinc, and healthy fats from olive oil and fatty fish, all of which counterbalance the potential negatives from certain vegetables and promote overall vitality. Beyond diet, lifestyle factors such as regular physical activity, stress reduction, and adequate sleep also profoundly affect sexual health. And combining these habits with smart food choices can create a synergistic effect that improves libido and energy. Another important point is the role of inflammation in sexual dysfunction, as chronic low-grade inflammation is a common issue in aging men and can be exacerbated by certain vegetables that promote inflammatory responses in sensitive individuals. And balancing this by eating anti-inflammatory foods such as berries, turmeric, and omega-3 rich sources helps reduce inflammation, supporting blood flow and nerve function critical for erection and pleasure. It's also useful to understand that the body's reaction to foods can be highly individual. Some men may tolerate certain vegetables better than others, so paying attention to personal symptoms and adjusting the diet accordingly is key. Consulting with a healthcare provider for hormone testing and nutritional advice can help identify any underlying deficiencies or imbalances and guide personalized dietary plans that maximize libido support while ensuring overall health. In the context of sexual health, it's important to approach diet as part of a broader holistic strategy that includes emotional connection, communication with partners, and addressing any psychological factors like anxiety or depression that might be impacting desire and performance. Because food alone, while powerful, is one piece of the larger puzzle. By adopting this comprehensive approach, men over 60 can not only avoid vegetables that may silently harm their libido, but also embrace a lifestyle that fosters sustained sexual health, vitality, and satisfaction, ultimately enhancing quality of life. Remember, aging is not synonymous with decline. It is a phase rich with opportunity to learn, adapt, and thrive. And through mindful dietary choices, particularly regarding vegetable intake, men can reclaim control over their sexual health, enjoy fulfilling intimate relationships, and feel confident and energized in their bodies well into their later years. As men move into their 60s and beyond, embracing a proactive approach to sexual health becomes not just beneficial but essential, and this includes a mindful reconsideration of the vegetables they consume daily, because what might have once seemed like a harmless side dish could be quietly undermining their libido and vitality over time. And by making informed, intentional choices about diet, men can significantly improve not only their sexual function, but their overall quality of life, self-confidence, and emotional well-being, which are all deeply interconnected. This journey often begins with recognizing that aging bodies require different nutritional strategies than they did in younger years, and that includes understanding how certain vegetables impact hormone levels, inflammation, and blood flow, all critical factors for a healthy libido. Avoiding or limiting raw, cruciferous vegetables such as broccoli, cauliflower, kale, cabbage, and Brussels sprouts can reduce the risk of thyroid interference, which helps maintain balanced testosterone levels, while reducing or eliminating soy-based products prevents excess phytoestrogens from disrupting the testosterone to estrogen ratio, which is crucial for sustaining sexual desire and performance. At the same time, men should focus on replenishing key nutrients that support hormonal health. Foods rich in zinc, magnesium, vitamin D, and healthy fats, which can be found in nuts, seeds, fatty fish, and whole grains. Complementing these dietary changes with regular physical activity, stress management, and sufficient restorative sleep creates an environment where the body can naturally optimize hormone production and maintain sexual function. Many men report that after making these adjustments, they experience more consistent erections, increased stamina, and a renewed interest in intimacy, which in turn boosts their confidence and improves their relationships. It's also important to adopt a compassionate mindset during this transition, understanding that fluctuations in libido and sexual performance are normal, but not inevitable or irreversible, and that with patience, care, and the right guidance, men can continue to enjoy fulfilling sex lives well into their later decades. Beyond the physical benefits, these dietary and lifestyle shifts often foster a deeper connection with the self, encouraging men to listen more closely to their bodies, prioritize their health, and communicate openly with partners about needs and desires, which strengthens emotional intimacy and mutual satisfaction. For those who may still struggle despite these changes, seeking professional support from healthcare providers who specialize in men's sexual health can provide tailored treatments and interventions, ensuring that underlying medical issues are addressed promptly. Finally, it's empowering to remember that the journey to preserving and enhancing libido after 60 is not about rigid restrictions or fear of certain foods, but about balance, awareness, and intentional living, where men choose to nourish themselves in ways that honor their changing bodies and celebrate their ongoing capacity for pleasure and connection, and by avoiding these specific vegetables known to undermine libido, while embracing a holistic lifestyle rich in supportive nutrition and self-care, men open the door to a vibrant, joyful, and satisfying chapter of life, proving that age is truly just a number when it comes to sexual health and happiness.